Testing, testing. Testing. Hello? Okay. Now we're back on YouTube. I don't know what happened there. My mic's been bugging on me last few weeks. I don't know what is going on. For audio listeners, my mic's been bugging on YouTube for the last few weeks. So, I don't know. Just wacky. But either way, just in case it cut off the audio while I was trying to say this is Dodgers and Padres first baseman legend Steve Garvey. This is Yankees legend Bernie Williams. It was really nice to get to meet all these guys. Bernie gave me like the most case of like maybe he could be a guest because when I had mentioned to him, he's like, I'll maybe I'll talk about it, or I should talk to his manager or something. I didn't end up finding his manager, didn't talk to him, but I don't know, it could be maybe future guest. And then current Seattle Mariners catcher and Gold Glove winner this year, CFPRaLRea, fittingly right behind a Seattle Mariners jersey. And then I had to go back in line for this one because he wasn't in line when I first went through because he was doing an interview the first time I went through, so I had to go back in line for this one. Then Yankees legend Don Mattingly. And then also there were some content creators at this event. The main one name is Disarm, really nice guy. I've been like on and off watching his content, but he's got some great content on YouTube. He's like general MLB content creator. I got to meet him at the event. This is me with him. And then he basically is in a shout out to him, by the way. Keep out your great content. So he lives in a content house with a whole bunch of content creators of baseball. Two that are, which is YouTube channels called Bat Boys, which I very much watch their content of. And then Gabe Smith, who's basically original from Dodger Films, which is another YouTube channel on its own. And I was kind of wondering if Zarm's going to be there, given he's in a content house with a whole bunch of with both of those content creators. I wonder if all of those others are going to be there also. Well, Bad Boys were also there, and I got to meet them too. This is me with them. And then, so the funny story with Gabe was when I was first meeting the content creators, he wasn't there. He left for a moment. But so I stuck around a little bit to try to see if I can get a picture with him, except he never ended up coming back into the store. So at a certain point, I got his hat and was leaving, and just on my way out, I happened to bump into him right outside the MLB store. So yeah, that was fun. Shout out to all those content creators. They all make a lot of good content. Shout out to MLB store for the great event. And shout out to Bernie Williams, Cal Raleigh, and all that I met. You guys were really nice, and who knows, maybe I end up having them on the podcast one day. One moment. Anyways, so going back to the episode of the podcast, so we're gonna dive into MLB, and I'm gonna share screen honestly of the tabs we're gonna go through for MLB, except for news. So there is some moves that have happened so far this offseason. Cody Bellinger's picked up his player option return to the Cubs for 2025. Which he's getting paid $27.5 million. I'm not happy about it because he did not have a great year last year, but there's nothing much you can do really, given it was a player option. Garrett Cole is staying with the Yankees as he agreed to continue with his deal as it was originally constituted, meaning that he will get paid $144 million remaining through 2028. A whole bunch of players received qualifying offers. I'm not gonna go through the list. It's just a whole bunch of players. Let's see what other ones else am I missing. Oh, Roki Sasaki got posted. Is potentially getting posted. But there's a whole complication with him. Um, yeah, that's pretty much free agency news so far. Not much yet. But we'll see how it all plays out. More and more will happen as we get along in the off season. And I will be covering it more and more as things unfold. So let's go over the Gold Glove Award winners for 2024. Besides the one I've already mentioned and the one I met, CFPRaLRea. So for catcher, for American League, catcher's obviously CFPRaLRea. First base for his first ever Gold Glove is Carlos Santana. Second base went to Andres Jimenez. Shortstop is Bobby Witt Jr. is also an MVP candidate. Third base is Alex Bregman, which is good, which he kind of needed given he's going to be a free agent this offseason. Left field goes to Stephen Kwan for a third straight year. Dalton Varsho gets it in center field of the Blue Jays, and Wilyer Abreu, rookie of the Red Sox, is the right field Gold Glove candidate. I believe he's also up for Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken, in the American League. Oh no, he's not actually. Sorry, I forgot. Interesting. It's really interesting what they went with. The pitcher Gold Glove for the AL went to Seth Lugo, and utility player Gold Glove winner went to Dylan Moore. As for the National League, the catcher is Patrick Bailey. The first base winner is Christian Walker. Second base went to Bryce Terang. Shortstop went to Ezekiel Tovar. Third base went to Matt Chapman. Left field went to Ian Happ. Center field went to Brent Doyle. Right field went to Sal Frelick. Starting pitcher Gold Glove went to Chris Sale, and utility player Gold Glove went to Jared Triolo. As for the Platinum Glove Award, it just went to CFPRaLRea and Bryce Terang. And for the Silver Slugger Award winner, for position, first base in the AL went to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and in the NL went to Bryce Harper. Second base, Altuve for the AL, Ketel Marte for the NL. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. for the AL, Francisco Lindor for the NL, both being MVP candidates, makes sense. Third base, J Ram in the AL, Manny Machado in the NL. Outfield, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Anthony Santander in the AL. Jackson Merrill, Teoscar Hernandez, and Jurickson Profar in the NL. Catchers, Salvi won the AL, and William Contreras won the NL. DH, Brent Rooker for the AL, Shohei for the NL. And then utility player Josh Smith for the AL, Mookie Betts for the NL. Offensive teams of the year went to the Yankees and the Dodgers. That is it for Silver Slugger. So before we get into WBC, have been announced, and so not only am I going to tell you the finalists for each award, I'm going to give you my predictions. So schedule for the awards: Monday is Rookie of the Year, Tuesday is Manager of the Year, Wednesday is Cy Young, and Thursday is MVP. So we'll go in order of when they're going to be announced. Let's start with Rookie of the Year. So Rookie of the Year for the AL is Colton Cowser, Luis Gill, and Austin Wells. Honestly, it's really like up for grabs who's going to win this award. I don't know if I could really say one specific guy over the other. Like Luis Gill got off to a really good start and then a slower finish in the end, but still had a pretty good season. Austin Wells had a pretty good season. In general, and Colton Cowser pretty good part of the Orioles lineup this year. If I were to make a prediction, it kind of feels a bit weird that like two of the AL awards are two Yankees and a non-Yankee. And so given that other one like that is going to be going to a Yankee, I'm going to predict that this one doesn't go to one of the Yankee. I'm the Yankee. Then again, like Luis Gill had like a really good stretch that like could very much win him Rookie of the Year. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go with Luis Gill for AL Rookie of the Year. NL Rookie of the Year, it is not going to be an easy choice. You have Jackson Chourio of the Brewers, who really had a really good year and even a pretty good postseason. Jackson Merrill of the Padres, who had a ridiculous year and not so great for postseason. And then Paul Skeens of the Pirates, who's just putting up historic numbers here and there. As much as Merrill and Chourio had great seasons, Skeens was just on too much of another level. I think he's just going to win. He's going to win NL Rookie of the Year. As for Manager of the Year, for the American League, all valid choices: AJ Hinch, Matt Quatraro, and Stephen Vogt. Hinch leading the Tigers their first playoff appearance since 2015. Matt Quatraro leading the Royals their first playoff appearance. 14 for the Tigers, 15 for the Royals, and Vogt leading Guardians to a playoff appearance for the first time since 2022. Well, I guess not that much of a gap. If I had to predict who, I think really all three of these guys, any of the three of these guys could win. But honestly, given how big of a gap the Tigers were and how they at a certain point this year looked like they were probably not going to make the playoffs versus the other two, like you pretty much knew they were going to make it. I'm going to say AJ Hinch wins Manager of the Year. But I think honestly, no matter who wins, it's a valid case. And there's not much of a fight to put up with. As for NL, this is a whole nother story. You have Carlos Mendoza of the Mets, which the Mets were just a struggle bus all season long. You have Pat Murphy of the Brewers, who took a team that looked at the beginning of the year was not going to even make the playoffs, let alone win the division, and yet they won the division. And then Mike Schill of the Padres, who took the team that missed the playoffs in 2023, leading them right back to the playoffs even after trading Juan Soto. Honestly, given the thing is, like, I don't. Schilt's a valid case. I don't think he's going to win. And honestly, in my mind, it's a two-man race between Mendoza and Murphy. And as much as I'm a Cubs fan, I honestly think it will go to Pat Murphy. Brewers, as much as like the Mets story is crazy, is he in its own? Well, no, yeah. I'm gonna say Brewers. I'm gonna say Murphy because they were not expected to make the playoffs. They weren't expected to win the division at all, and yet they proved both wrong and ended up winning the division. The Cy Young Award winners. I can already tell you guaranteed who's gonna win. I'll still go over the finalists, especially since one of the AL ones was a surprise, but like a very valid case to be a Cy Young candidate. Emmanuel Clase, who's the first reliever to be a Cy Young candidate in the since K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez in 2008 with the Angels, Seth Lugo and Treek Skubal. I'm already going to tell you, Treek Skubal won the pitching Triple Crown, and pretty much it's almost, if not a guarantee, if you win the pitching Triple Crown, you're going to end up winning the Cy Young Award as well. So my prediction is easily to be Treek Skubal. They all have valid cases, but at the end of the day, Skubal won pitching Triple Crown, so not much of a thought to me of who's going to win the AL Cy Young. And NL Cy Young, pretty similar, except because there was also a Triple Crown winner in the National League, aka Chris Sale. One thing I just want to check while I'm here. Yeah, okay. That's still going. Good. Just want to be sure. There was a Triple Crown winner, Chris Sale. Other candidates are Paul Skeens and Zach Wheeler. Again, as much as Skeens and Wheeler are very good and fitting to be there, at the end of the day, you have a Triple Crown winner, and the Triple Crown winner is more than likely going to be the one who wins NL Cy Young. So give me Chris Sale for NL Cy Young. And as for MVP, AL is Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Bobby Witt Jr. At the end of the day, Judge pretty much almost put up the season he put up in 2022, and I see him winning his second MVP. I'm calling he wins the second MVP in the last 3 years. And as for NL, between Shohei Ohtani, Ketel Marte, and Francisco Lindor, which Marte is definitely interesting, but like an understandable choice. The other two pretty much knew it was going to be that way. And as much as Lindor like had a great season, the other day he struggled to start the season. Shohei Ohtani's have been going off since the beginning of the season, and also there's no way Lindor's winning MVP over a guy who literally did 50-50 this year in Shohei Ohtani. So he's more like he's got his third MVP of his career already pretty much locked up. And that is the as the MVP winners for the MVP not winners, finalists, and my predictions for the awards. Now I'm going to share with you the World Baseball Classic qualifiers setup that had come out today, literally before I went live with this week's episode at 6 p.m. Eastern. So there's going to be 4 teams in each 8 teams for 4 spots, 2 from each qualifier, 4 in each qualifier, competing for who will be in the 2024-26 World Baseball Classic. From February 21st to the 25th, there's going to be one in the Taipei Dome in Taiwan. And then from March 2nd to the 6th, there's going to be a qualifier in Tucson, Arizona, in some smaller field. Hold on, let me pull this up. In Veterans Memorial Stadium at Kino Sports Complex in Tucson, Arizona, which I have not heard of that stadium much at all before. But the teams that are going to be in the Taiwan pool is South Africa, Nicaragua, Spain, and the home country, Chinese Taipei, and representing Taiwan. Chinese Taipei had made the WBC last year with 2-2, but through tiebreaker, they finished last and did not qualify for this WBC. Nicaragua was in it last year, except they went 0-4, including losing to Israel, which was their difference. South Africa did not make it out of the qualifiers last year, and neither did Spain, though Spain came pretty close, but lost to Czech Republic in the finale. And so the schedule for the qualifiers for Taiwan at the moment: South Africa against Nicaragua, 12 p.m. Taiwan time. Then Spain, Chinese Taipei, 7 p.m. Taiwan time. That's going to be on February 21st. Now, if you're wondering the question of what's the time difference between Taiwan and U.S., so based on East Coast, and I'm just doing it based on East Coast because I live on East Coast, is a 13-hour difference. So 12 p.m. there is going to be 1 a.m. Eastern time for 1 a.m. Eastern time, and 7 p.m. is going to be 8 a.m. Eastern time. So 1 a.m. and 8 a.m. for Eastern times for US for these games. The next day, so that's Friday, February 21st. Saturday, February 22nd, will be Spain, Nicaragua at 1 a.m. Eastern time. And then at 8 a.m. Eastern is going to be Chinese Taipei against South Africa. And then it's going to be South Africa playing against Spain for Sunday the 23rd. South Africa against Spain, 1 a.m. Eastern. And then Nicaragua against Chinese Taipei at 8 a.m. Eastern. And then Tuesday would be the final game to determine who advances between the second place team and the third place team, 7 a.m. Eastern from Taiwan. These games, probably, if it's like the last WBC, it's going to probably be on like MLB TV or .TV or something like that, but I'm not sure. Or maybe MLB Network or something like that. The other pool is going to be from Tucson, Arizona. First place team and the winner of Game 7 in both of these advance. The 4 teams in this pool are China, Germany, Brazil, and Colombia. China was in the WBC last year, except they went 1-3. They they went 0-4, so they did not qualify. Colombia was in the WBC last year. They went 1-3, not good enough to qualify. Brazil did not make it out of the qualifiers, though they came pretty close. And Germany did not make it out of the qualifiers either. They fell to the Czech Republic. Schedule for that one: March 2nd, Game 1 between China and Germany will be at 11 a.m. West Coast time, Arizona time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern will be Brazil, Colombia. On Monday, March 3rd, will be Brazil and Germany at 1 p.m. and then Colombia and China at 8 p.m. And then Tuesday, March 4th, will be China and Brazil at 1 p.m. and Germany and Colombia at 8 p.m. And then Thursday, March 6th at 8 p.m. will be the second place against third place team for determine the last team in to make the WBC tournament for 2026. And that is it for all the MLB news part of this week's episode. Let's dive into NFL part of this week's episode, and then that will be it for this week's episode. So, NFL Weekly Recap. Ravens beat the Bengals 35-34 on the back of controversy at the end on the 2-point conversion. That was clear PI. And I put it in the thumbnail, oddly enough. This game marks the second time in NFL history and Joe Burrow, the second time in NFL history and second time in Joe Burrow history that he had 30 plus completions, 300 plus passing yards, 4 plus passing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, multiple 40 plus yard touchdown passes, no more than 1 interception in a game, and still lose, joining himself from Week 5 versus the Ravens this season. Over his last 3 games, Lamar Jackson has 102 rushing yards and a passer rating of 145.6. It's the only time in Super Bowl era that a QB has had a 3-game span with passer rating of at least 145 minimum, 75 attempts, while also having 100 plus rushing yards. Patriots beat the Bears 19-3. Patriots have gone 7 consecutive games without reaching 300 yards of offense. Their longest streak since 1992 to 1993. Bills beat the Colts 30-20. Josh out there. It's the first time the Bills beat the Colts in Indy since Doug Flutie beat Peyton Manning in 1999. Chiefs beat the Broncos 16-14 on a blocked 35-yard field goal from Will Lutz. Chiefs have now won 11 regular season games in a row since Week 17 of last season, and in that span, they've outscored their opponents by 67 points. The next lowest margin of scoring margin by a team who won 11 regular season games in a row is plus 85 by 2003 New England Patriots. 49ers beat the Buccaneers 23-20. Ricky Pearsall's 46-yard receiving touchdown from Brock Purdy in the first quarter is his first touchdown in 71 days after being shot in the chest during a robbery attempt. Eagles beat the Cowboys spanking the Cowboys 34-6. Cowboys are the first team in NFL history to be down by 20 plus points at some point in 5 straight home games. Cardinals beat the Jets 31-6. Cardinals have not allowed a touchdown in 3 straight home games, first time they've done so since 1926. Lions beat the Texans 26-23. Jake Bates is the first kicker of the Lions in NFL history to have a 55-plus yard game-tying field goal and game-winning field goal in the fourth quarter of the same game. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions and his first passing his season total prior to today. It's his second, fourth plus interception game, and his first since 2018. 7 interceptions combined in this game are most in the game since 2018. And then the Dolphins beat the Rams 23-15. Rams is the only NFL team in Super Bowl era to attempt field goal on each of their last 6 drives in the game, despite being down by more than 3 points entering each one. That is it for the notes part of this week's for the NFL part of the recap. My predictions this week, I went 8-6 once again. My overall record is 97-55. Sorry about that. Standings update. In the AFC East, the Bills are first place at 8-2, followed by 3-6 the Dolphins, followed by 3-7 Jets and Patriots. In the AFC North, the Steelers are first place at 7-2, followed by the 7-3 Ravens, followed by the 4-6 Bengals, followed by the 2-7 Browns. In the AFC South, the Texans are first place at 6-4, followed by the 4-6 Colts, followed by the 2-7 Titans, followed by the 2-8 Jaguars. In the AFC West, the Chiefs are first place at 9-0, followed by the 6-3 Chargers, followed by the 5-5 Broncos, followed by the 2-7 Raiders. In the NFC East, the Commanders in first place 7-2, followed by the 7-3 Eagles, followed by the 3-6 Cowboys, followed by the 2-8 Giants. In the NFC North, the Lions in first place 8-1, followed by the 7-2 Vikings, followed by the 6-3 Packers, followed by the 4-5 Bears. In the NFC South, the Falcons in first place at 6-4, followed by the 4-6 Buccaneers, followed by the 3-7 Saints and Panthers. And then in the NFC West, the 49ers, Cardinals in first place 6-4, followed by the 5-4 49ers, followed by the 4-5 Rams and Seahawks. Week 11 predictions: Thursday Night Football, Commanders at Eagles at 8:15. I have the Eagles. Sunday kicks off Bears at Packers, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Packers. Jaguars at Lions, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Lions. Vikings at Titans, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Vikings. Raiders at Dolphins, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Dolphins. Rams at Patriots, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Rams. Browns at Saints, 1 p.m. on Fox. I have the Browns. Ravens at Steelers, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Ravens. Colts at Jets, 1 p.m. on CBS. I have the Jets. Falcons at Broncos, 4:05 on Fox. I have the Falcons. Seahawks at 49ers, 4:05 on Fox. I have the 49ers. Chiefs at Bills, 4:25 on CBS. I have the Bills. And Sunday Night Football, Bengals at Chargers, 8:20. I have the Bengals. And Monday Night Football on the 18th is Texans at Cowboys at 8:15. I have the Texans. That is this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe on the notification bell, so notified when I go live and or post a new video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit the notification bell so notified when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will see you next week's episode 148. Bye-bye.